Hello, it's Kit Alowitz with another Leadership Journey video segment. In this video, I want to talk about neuroplasticity, accordions, and the Rubiks Cubes. You have seen and heard our attempts over the last few summits to talk, exploit, and explain and demonstrate the idea and elements of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to form and recognize synaptic connections. I find this concept of neuroplasticity really pretty fascinating. That being the brain's ability to build new neural circuits of synaptic communication that enable new thinking and learning, as well as, if I take a few liberties, this idea of neuroplasticity can also facilitate you and I unlearning dumb stuff that we should stop doing. I also find fascinating for us humans as to when and where and how we choose to put and spend our time trying and doing new things. It seems that everyone, yes, even oftentimes frustrating teenagers, and I've had my fair share of them, they have interests, they have things or arenas that are interesting to them that they want to, in fact, take time to get good at, even if it's questionable areas like video games and social media. We can literally get good at just about anything if we have enough desire. I also find it fascinating when a person puts their mind to something, how they can almost do just about anything, literally anything. Now, I'm about to show you one of those scenarios of someone taking the time to figure something out and become fascinatingly amazing at it. Of a person that can put their mind to something and really master it. Lastly, I also find it fascinating to discover where other people's interests and motivations and desires are, what lights them up and what literally drives them. Even amongst us in this audience right now, there is a vast and varied degree of interest where you and I have gotten pretty darn good at things, where the desire is high, practice is abundant, and hard work is applied. Examples include that I'm familiar with amongst you in this audience are things like fishing, to building guns, to running, to making alcohol and all sorts of variations, to swimming, to hunting, to buying houses, to building, to fixing cars, to playing instruments, to singing, to leadership, to management, to paramotoring, to management 101 to 201, to flying drones, to CrossFit, to reading, to dogs, to walking in high heels, to name a few. Today I'm going to show you one of those members who put his mind to something that was of interest, motivated him, got him inspired, and in the end, he mastered it. Now this one's going to be fascinating. This person was one of the contributors of the 40-plus videos that we generated for you to consume over the next 6 months as part of the Leadership Journey Summit homework. I have to say that I've actually watched this individual's video a number of times, a plethora of times in fact, because I find it fascinating to watch this person operate. But I'm going to slowly tease you in getting to this Journey member's story, at least for the next couple minutes. Now, let me tease you with another little element around neuroplasticity where it's gone awry. Now, I have to admit, I failed you in this summit. I wanted to be ready to woo you with another skill that I learned, like the bike, like yoga, but I failed. And my journey to short-term failure begins with this gentleman right here. I have to say that I've not been necessarily shy over the last 3 years about my sincere, deep gratification and appreciation to Dr. Matthew Chodkowski. I personally believe his contribution to our leadership journey experience has been simply invaluable. The guy has worked incessantly side by side with us on our collective journey towards preeminence, as well as our pursuit of world-class, repeatable, preeminent customer experience, as well as towards institutionalization. Now, for the fun part. Nearly 100% of us at the summit today have already attended Matt Chodkowski's lead program, wherein you likely should remember that he teases us, he teases you repeatedly, or at least several times in class over the 5 modules by stating that he plays the accordion. I have tried unsuccessfully for 3 years to get Matt to demonstrate his accordion skills, give us the taste of his accordion magic, but have been very unsuccessful. I must admit, I have had the thought, at least more than once, Now, is Matt still actually able to play the accordion? Perhaps he hasn't played for so long that maybe he just can't play anymore. He is getting older in years. I mean, I played the guitar until I was 15, and yet many years later, I can barely play Feelings or Star Wars or Scarborough Fair anymore. Well, make no mistake, Matt Chodkowski can still play the accordion. Recently, Matt showed up into my office wearing this. Look at that thing, bright, red, snazzy. Look at that classic accordion. Then, after no practice, after not picking up the accordion for years and years and years, Matt Chodkowski extended the bellows of this accordion and produced a sweet ray of sounds. Take a gander. It should be noted that, for the record, Dr. Matthew Chodkowski plays the accordion. Matt, having paid the price over years and years and years, mastered playing the accordion. Was he a little rusty? Maybe, but not much. And those synapses for Matt are still very much there. Music was produced, notes were hit, and a lullaby was reenacted right in my office there. Soon I had half of the solutions group up in the customer center grouped up outside my office as Matt played, performed the polka, and was clicking his heels. I'm just kidding, Matt. It was pretty cool. It was actually pretty magical. Now, of course, my brain instantly started churning, thinking, oh, I want to learn how to play the accordion and show the Leadership Summit my ideas, my ability to have some neuroplasticity around this. I wanted to showcase some sexy neuroplasticity skills of my own at the summit for you to see. Turns out, just like you and I must pay the price to ride the unrideable bike, to do the flip on the yoga trapeze, you must pay the price to learn to play the accordion like Matt. And with just a couple days since I finally was able to see with my own eyes and ears that Matt, in fact, can play the accordion, turns out that you must pay the price. You must have perfect practice. You must take the time in order to play the accordion. This is as close as I got to successfully, actually, it's pretty unsuccessfully playing the accordion. Take a gander.
May I introduce the accordion master.
I'd like to note how I performed. Badly, I know. Now, this could in fact be a teaser, let's call it a primer, as to what you might be seeing next time we meet in 6 months in May 2021. Perhaps you will see at the May 2021 Summit an entirely different performance. Maybe. Maybe, or perhaps you'll see two Polish men formed into a rock star band, perhaps as dynamic and dazzling as the old Duran Duran duo days, but this time it will be called the Chodkowski and Alowitz Duo. Perhaps we'll call ourselves the CAASP, C-A-A-S-P, which stands for Chodkowski Alowitz Accordion Superstar Performers. Perform the accordion in concert style and dazzle you, the audience, you, with a sweet tapestry of sounds in perfect accordion resonance. Okay, so enough of that. Now on to one of our really amazing Anderson Alexander employees who is about to woo you. Let's change gears just briefly. Let's talk about the Rubiks Cube. The Rubiks Cube was invented decades ago in 1974 by Erno Rubik, a Hungarian architect who wanted to create a working model to help explain three-dimensional geometry. Once designed, it was discovered that it actually has come up with some 43, let's see if I can get this right, quadrillion possibility in terms of configurations of the Rubik's Cube. However, any Rubik's Cube master has figured out that you can actually solve the Rubik's Cube successfully in just 20 moves. 20 moves! But it actually took over 30 years for anyone to actually figure that out. Now, the Rubik's Cube is now for sure likely an iconic puzzle toy that is mathematically dang complicated. Again, with some 43 quintillion possible combinations to solve, and yet it has sold 350 million plus cubes worldwide, perhaps making it the best-selling puzzle game ever. Every year, well, this is interesting as I come to find this out. I didn't know it before this person introduced us to the video that you're about to see. Every year, there are thousands of Rubik Cube nerds, aka very smart people who converge and try to beat, equal, and match the world records for solving this six-sided amazing square. I want to show you 4 such individuals, and so watch closely. Wow, wasn't that amazing or what? A big darn shout out and applause for our very own Sean Boo Shane. Wow, what a feat. A very short time ago, Sean knew very little about the art and science of solving the Rubik's Cube. However, he paid the price, he did the work, he put in the time, after hours I should know. He understood the framework and he was willing to follow the Rubik's Cube solve process. And now look at him. He looks as sexy and as sophisticated up there as solving an unsolvable Rubik's Cube as anyone on the planet, and in the end, he in fact makes it look very easy. So my powerful emotional close is this. We can do hard things. We can do things that at first look unsolvable. And yet it takes desire, it takes fortitude, it takes paying the price, doing the work, putting in the time, understanding the framework, and following the process. We can all learn to play the accordion, or solve the Rubik's Cube, or ride the unrideable bike, or do the yoga trapeze. And perhaps, my friends, it all starts with a desire. And that desire likely has to be very high, somewhere in 8, 9, or 10 on a scale of 1 to 10 if we're to make it happen. I invite you to join our Rubik's Cube train. This Rubik's Cube train is going towards institutionalization. It's going towards preeminence, both personally, organizationally, and for the customer having a repeatable, predictable, world-class, preeminent experience with us every single time. I'm Kid Alowitz, and we'll see you next time.